Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and I want to say a great big thank you to all of you for the massive love shown me on the last video. Yes, and that was more or less 2 weeks ago. Yes, I didn't even know you guys were going to take that pregnancy announcement the way you did. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the food. Yes, a lot of people kept sending me food. They kept sending me food and drinks. Please send me money. Thank you. Babies need money. Thank you. And if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, maybe I'll bring my village people to come and beg you. Please support my hustle. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Watch my videos, and of course, leave me your comments, reactions. Let me know what else you would like me to talk about. Well, like I said in that previous video, you know, I'm a 3-time CS mom, and whenever we talk about cesarean sections, most African women, in fact, let me just say Nigerian women, because I've not been with a lot of African women, but I know it's similar. But let's be Nigerian. The first Nigerian reaction is, oh, sorry, CS. Like, I don't get it. What's so terrible about cesarean sections? What's the big deal? What's so unwomanly? Why should me having a CS make me feel less of a mother or less of a woman, or feel less than someone who had her child or children vaginally? Let's talk about that. You know, when I was pregnant with my first, I didn't have a plan for cesarean sections. I assumed everything was going to go pregnancy, labor, delivery, all things being equal. But like we know, things are rarely ever equal. So first time mom, I read up a lot, but somehow I never thought the cesarean section route was for me. Not because I had anything against them, but I just felt, well, I didn't have any reason. Of course, my pain threshold is actually very low. I hate pain. Like, if there's a way I will pay money for anybody to take away pain from me, I will do it in a heartbeat. But for the birth, I just felt, well, if other women could have birth vaginally, why can't I? I never felt there was any reason why I should, except it becomes imperative to save my life. So I saw cesarean section as a life-saving method, which we are to use in the case of maybe emergencies, to save the life of the mother or the baby or both. Pregnancy progressed well. I kept to my diet. You know, as a first-time mom, you're so afraid of anything harming your baby, especially something you could avoid. I ate my greens. I drank my routine drugs. I made sure I took exercise. I did brisk walks in the evening. I did everything just as the doctor ordered. Then by the time we got to 38 weeks, you know, at the antenatal, we're being told, of course, any moment from now, you can expect to see your show. I was on the lookout. Every morning when I go to the bathroom or when I have my bath, you know, of course, I'll put my hand and check. Nothing. And the baby was very active, kept moving. I stayed 38 weeks, 39 weeks. By the 40th week, almost all my pregnancy mates, yes, people that were collected orgasm together, registered together, their teams had all given birth and they left me behind. I started getting worried. I was like, why? The doctor said, no, you're a first-time mom. So there's really nothing we can do. We just have to watch. Watch and wait. I continued going to my antenatal classes every week, and they kept me under close, monitoring. 40th week, still no sign of labor, no sign of anything. The baby was just relaxing. It's like the guy had built like a duplex in my tummy. He's very comfortable. He moves when he wants to move. No discomfort, nothing. By the 41st week, the doctor said, "Madam, we can't wait any longer. We'd have to induce you." Of course, as a millennial mom, I read up induction. They've already talked to us about that. When you are artificially pushed into labor, I packed my bags, went to the hospital, was booked. The first induction didn't take. I didn't feel anything. The second one didn't take either. The doctor said, if we were to do the third one and it doesn't take, you're going straight for an emergency cesarean section. I'm like, okay. So by the fourth one, I remember the third one was administered around 5 p.m. on that day, on the 4th of October, 2010. So I didn't feel anything till like 9 p.m. I started feeling, slight contractions, which built up, and suddenly I found myself in active labor. I labored from 9 p.m. till around maybe 1 a.m. By 1 a.m. I was already dilated 5 cm. So I was taken from the antenatal ward to the labor ward. And when I got there, of course, I saw my fellow laborers who were all doing it, each at their own pace. But one by one, they kept giving birth and leaving. For me, I was in labor. It was painful as hell. But it seemed not to be progressing. Around 4 a.m., the consultant came and said, "Madam, why are you still here?" He took a glove, checked, and he shouted. And he was, started talking, and people were running. I was like, he said, "Madam, even if you like, sit down here for the next 1 year. There is no way this baby is going to pass through your pelvis. Your pelvis is too small. This baby is massive. We're going to book you for an emergency cesarean section." I'm like, what are we waiting for? He said, "Wait, your husband. He's not around. Madam, are you educated?" Like, really? If I'm not educated, maybe I'll just use my thumbprint. I signed and we went in. In 25 minutes, a massive baby of 4.9 kg came out. And the doctor was like, "This was what you've been laboring? And do you want to kill yourself?" That was how cesarean section saved my life. We were diagnosed for CPD, cephalopelvic disproportion, meaning the baby's head, of course, and the rest of his body was just too big to pass through my narrow birth canal. Now, that was the first time. And I remember that when I told my mother I had cesarean section, she felt bad. She was like, "Oh, that's bad. Oh, I'm so sorry you went through that." I didn't take it as anything. But when people come to visit me and I say, "Oh, I had my CS," somebody said, "Stop telling people you had CS." I'm like, "Why?" She said, "No, don't say that. Just tell them you've had the baby." I didn't understand why she felt my telling them I had CS somehow diminished my experience. I didn't get it, because I went through labor. Even if I didn't go through labor, CS is not sweet. CS is like a miracle. God knows it's a miracle, because I lay down on that bed and I watched them slice me open. I watched them struggle to wrest out the baby out of me. I watched them carry my insides and clean them or handle them. I was watching my womb with somebody's hand. I don't know what miracle beats that. Then the recovery time is not like the moment you come out of the theater, you're home free. You don't eat for almost, in fact, I'm sure for the next 24 hours you don't eat. Then the pain of recovery, then the pain when you laugh or when you try to cough, that thing is not easy. So when I was to have my second baby, the doctor said, "Madam, you can actually push this one. The baby is much smaller, and the reason why you had cesarean section the first time no longer exists. So you can actually try to push." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much, doctor. Cut away. I don't want to push." Yes, from the second one, I chose for a very simple reason. It's my body, 1. 2, the time I was going to be given to push or to try labor might not be enough, and I will have to end up coming back under the knife. That's the second reason. The third reason, it was safer for me and my baby to be cut open. It was safer, because having a VBAC, that's vaginal birth after cesarean, is not as easy as it sounds. Complications can arise. I had friends who lost babies or who even lost their lives because they were attempting a VBAC. I didn't want any of that drama. I chose to be cut open, I chose cesarean section. The second time, I chose it the third time. And guess what? I'm choosing it again the fourth time. Now, in my experience, when women talk about cesarean sections, they are very apologetic about it. It's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't really get to push and suffer just like Eve intended, and somehow I know that really doesn't put me in the league of other mothers who actually pushed their baby. See, a load of crap. I have never heard something so stupid. I have never heard something so silly. For me, birth is birth. Baby alive, mother alive. Some people have no options, as in cesarean sections are the only way their babies can come forth. The only way. As in, there is no other way. Your pelvis too small, babies too big. Some babies are breech. They are breech. So how are you going to give birth to a breech baby? By cesarean section. Now, some men also make their wives feel as though somehow you are failing in God's will and purpose by not pushing. Why? Because their mothers told them that I gave birth to 13 children. I pushed them by myself. Why can't your wife do the same? She's lazy. She's this strong woman. Go and collect your award. Nagwata. The point I'm trying to make is this. Birth of any method, it's very difficult. It's very hard. It's a miracle. That's just the miracle of life. Making someone feel less than they should because they chose a different birth method is diabolical. That's the only way I can see it. Diminishing them and making them feel as though they are not real mothers because they didn't push through the vagina. I don't know how you guys sleep at night. On the other hand, there are people who have no medical reason for demanding a cesarean section. Like, the baby is fine, weight is fine, you could actually push, but you choose not to push. Guess what? You're also correct. It's a choice. Your life is a choice. Your life is a choice. Don't allow anybody make you feel bad for the choice you made. I remember when I chose to be cut the second time, matrons in the hospital, in a teaching hospital, were trying to dissuade me. Small girl like una no one push. Una like easy things. Oh, okay, you like hard things? Really? Make una push. Waiting there for this thing. Una mama do am. Really? Some of our mamas died. My sister, it is what I have chosen. Discuss your choice with your partner. If you have the finance for it, if you have the mental, see, this thing requires mental capacity. Let me just tell you, it's not easy. Even the childbirth, none of them is easy. Stop making people feel bad for their choices. It's their choice. A cesarean section, a vaginal birth, mother alive, baby alive, that's the goal. Stop making people feel, you know how Nigerians react when somebody says, she don't born, oh thank God, oh. The next thing you will hear is, she do operation on a normal. What does that mean? What is on a normal? No, it's abnormal. She vomited the baby from her mouth. Or maybe she sneezed it out of her nose. How does that affect you? That she had the baby vaginally, or she had to be cut open for the baby to come out. Most important thing is she's alive. Baby is alive. Those are the goals. Those are pregnancy goals. Do you know what it means for a woman to stand on the threshold in between life and death and struggle? Because for each of these birth processes, it is a struggle. Imagine how small the vagina is. Imagine how big a baby's head is. For a woman to attempt to push a baby out of her vagina, as small as it is, it's a miracle in itself. Now, imagine how the human body is and how doctors will take a scalpel, cut you open layer by layer, open your womb, bring out the baby, clean up your womb, suture it, put it back, sew you up, and you stand up. That's another miracle in itself. So don't allow anybody make you feel less. Don't allow anybody make you feel as though you took the easy way out. None of them is easy. These things are as hard as anything a woman would ever have to deal with in her life. And we need to stop this culture of shaming women for choosing cesarean sections. Some men say, my mother had 13 children. That's fine. That's her choice. My mother had 13 children. Then the mother-in-law will come and say, for our house, we know they use operation born. No use operation. No. Then some religious leaders will tell you, it's not your portion. It's not your portion. You are a Hebrew. I'm going to talk about the Hebrew woman in a later video. But for today, we are talking about cesarean sections and the myth surrounding it, the shaming, the discrimination. I don't know, in 2021, we are still talking about shit like this. We shouldn't be talking about things like this. Cesarean section, she born by CS, she not born by CS. He born normal, he born abnormal. These things should really stop. And for you, the woman, don't allow anybody make you feel less or make your achievement any less. Some of the men say, now only her born. People don't they born since. I agree. People don't they born since. People don't they also die since. See, Nigeria is a country that has one of the highest maternal mortality rates in the world. Google it. Check it out. Women pregnant or women die giving birth in Nigeria like no man's business. So cesarean sections, I know that since cesarean sections came up, not since it came up, it became popular, the rate has dropped, but it's still higher than we should be having in this century. Whatever saves your life. Some of you are refusing because you don't want to be labeled as a CS mom. You don't want to be seen, you don't want to cut open, you don't want this. So a doctor says this is the only way you're going to have your baby, and you're there arguing. That's fine. Christ died for some of us, I guess, not everybody. Because for you to so willingly sacrifice your life like that, maybe you have a spare life somewhere, I don't know. But the most important thing, the most important message I'm trying to pass across here is that there is no shame. In fact, we shouldn't even be discussing this, but I'm forced to. Because since I announced my pregnancy, I've gotten lots of messages, lots of calls talking about cesarean sections, whether it is good or okay, how do you feel going under the knife a fourth time? Of course, that's another video coming up, but it's a choice. It's a choice I made proudly. It's a choice I announced. It's a choice I would repeat over and over and over and over again. Again, like I said, nobody should make you feel less. Nobody should make you feel bad for whatever you choose. It's your body, it's your baby, and it's your choice. Please, if you like this video, if you learned anything or you have reactions, kindly, of course, in the comment section, tell us. Let's discuss this. And don't forget to share this video. Don't forget to subscribe. More pregnancy gists coming up. We're going to be having a lot of uncomfortable conversations surrounding pregnancy, the birthing process, family planning. In fact, all of us are pregnant on this page. Let me just tell you. You see on this channel, everybody, Dime. Thank you so much for watching.